What's up, guys? It's your boy Blackrue back with another video. Before you get started, cue in to go Saint. Let's get it. Indigo Saint in the building. Blackrue Investing. Let's go.
Who's this producer?
Best believe it was Blackrue Investing. With your money, you ain't gotta be guessing. Profits is what we manifesting. So we binge on our Blackrue Investing. Best believe it was Blackrue Investing. Got course in this race, we ain't resting. We got stocks, we got crypto with a blessing. So thank God for that Blackrue Investing. Best believe it was Blackrue Investing.
What's up, guys? We're back here. Let me see if I can fix this when I go sharing. Let me see if I can say studio mode while I'm streaming. Okay, yes I can. Let's move me up just a little bit. And okay, I'm gonna move myself up a little bit. Okay, perfect. Let me see if that works out from what you can see. Sup, Peterson? All right. Okay, and of course it moved up the subscribe. Wait, okay, cool. I think this is... No, that's not good because then it's right in the way of you guys. Let me just move myself to the top corner or something. Or right across from that. Let me see. There we go. I think that's what we want to see right there. Okay, perfect. All right, and let's just let everybody on Twitter know we're live. And then we can get into this. Coffeezilla basically ambushes Sam at on an interview. And Bitcoin at 17.2. What happens next? And if you guys didn't get a chance to check it out, we had a really banger of an interview here with Robert Mao of ArcBlock. Definitely suggest everyone go check it out. We just did it live. Let me see here. We'll go to the actual channel so you can see it that way. View your channel. And just so you guys know, I've been doing a lot more lives now, and YouTube does this thing where they separate the live videos from the rest of the videos. So make sure when you come to the channel, I tried to like fix it so it at least like when you scroll down, my past live streams are first now. But YouTube does this thing now where it separates the live streams from the normal videos. So just know we be doing more live streams now. So check the live streams here. But yeah, live interview with Robert Mao. I think it went very well. Definitely want to check out if you want to learn about ArcBlock. And he was really open and honest with his answers to the questions. So yeah, definitely check that out. See who else we got in here. So just Peterson for now. But let's get it going here. Let's start, before we talk about Bitcoin, which is just screaming right now at 17.2 right now. Let's talk a little bit about the whole Coffeezilla ambushing Sam thing. And let's hear him kind of just mention it and say it in his own words. And let me just make sure my sound and everything is good. Okay, we're good. And let me just make sure my sound is turned up so you can hear him. This is priceless. So just to give you a background, Sam was doing a couple Twitter spaces, and Coffeezilla kind of basically just knifed his way into the Twitter spaces, started asking Sam really tough questions, and this is kind of the outcome. But let's have him tell you in his own words here, and let me make sure I can change it to a speed. Okay, good speed, and let's do quality. Let's do it kind of low quality because we're streaming, and I don't want us to get cut off or anything like that. So let's do it kind of low quality. Okay, so here we go.
Honest now. But that's not true, because when you actually hit him with some hard questions, suddenly meetings come up, suddenly...
So he did hit him with some hard questions. It's going to take a little while to just load here because it's spooling. And we'll put on a closed captioning. Here we go. Boom.
He can't talk. Suddenly he's just Mr. Ums and Ahs. So I wanted to show both interviews. I think they're very interesting. I really wanted to press him on this $8 billion that mysteriously went missing that he didn't know about.
So $8 billion mysteriously missing. So sorry about that, guys. So sorry. Let me just end the call here. Sorry about that. So 8 million mysteriously missing. He presses him on this. So take a listen to what's going on here.
And I'm sure I'm going to be breaking these down more specifically in the days to come. But for now, I just wanted you to enjoy these unedited conversations with Sam Bankman-Fried that he didn't know we'd be having.
Coffeezilla, the mic is yours, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. I just wanted to quickly ask, so there's this big question about this $8 billion that went into some kind of a stub account. If I just want to get some clarification on this. From my understanding, what you're basically claiming is that back when FTX didn't have banking, you'd use Silvergate to have people to wire money to Alameda Research and then credit them on the FTX side, but you didn't actually account for that money going back to them. So essentially you had like $8 billion come into FTX you didn't have on the books, technically. I mean, can you explain more?
$8 billion unaccounted for. Now this is just ridiculousness. How can you not account for $8 billion? Hold on one second, y'all. Hey sister, I'm live right now. Can you hear me? I'm live right now. Alrighty. Alright, alrighty. Sorry about that, y'all. So $8 billion unaccounted for. So listen to what he says about this.
Or how that worked, because it seems like such a key part of this whole thing. And so far we've gotten like very vague things about stub accounts. Just try to be as specific as you can on how that actually happened.
So, and again, some of these are things I'm trying to piece together that I don't have the full answer to, but I think that part of it was, I believe that there was, correct FTX accounting, in terms of, the audited financials, but that at least I can say that when you sort of pulled up, on a dashboard, what the accounts look like, it would not have, it wouldn't have displayed, those transfers, and it wouldn't have displayed the balances related to those, which meant that it was, that the sort of what you would naively see as the relevant, sort of position size was quite a bit smaller than what the full position size was.
Specifically, you're talking about the funds that went into Alameda that was credited.
So he says so much without saying anything. Basically, he said, okay, it didn't show up on the dashboard, the full amount or whatever. And he's going to press him again on it.
To on the customer side on FTX,
Yeah,
you're saying that basically when you looked at your dashboard, Alameda was using those funds to trade perhaps, but that ultimately you couldn't see that on the Alameda side because there was some kind of an accounting problem where there was a mix-up with where it was credited. Is that the story?
Yeah, it's something roughly like that, or at the very least that the common displays of it did not include that piece of the accounting.
A real quick second follow-up. So I've talked to a few Alameda insiders, and I've kind of run them by your story of things.
So basically, he's like, I got you. I talked to some Alameda insiders, and here he goes.
I think you probably are aware. I'm pretty skeptical. And one of them, when I told them, could it be that Sam wouldn't know about this? Somebody who worked with you, and they actually, they laughed, and they said, there's no way he's claiming to be stupid now when he was this genius wonder kid. And so my sense of things is, How do you explain this? How do you explain the fact that some of the people who worked with you for years, your employees, have come out and said, there's no way he didn't know about these backdoors. There's no way he didn't know what Caroline was doing when you guys were very close.
So basically, he's like, I spoke to some insiders, and they're saying, there's no way you didn't know that there were backdoors. There's no way you didn't know what Caroline was doing. You guys are very close. There's no way. This is what he's saying. The insider said.
Offices were right next to each other. I mean, how do you expect us to believe this story you're spinning?
And says that your offices are right next to each other.
I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, I had a lot going on, and I was spread thin. I was a bit less grounded than I had been before, and I lost track of a lot of important things. And I mean, I think that.
Hang on 1 second. I think spread.
Yeah, Sam never flaps. I can't even believe this. That he's like, I was a little less grounded. I don't know what to say. Like, it's crazy to me that he can even actually respond after getting so caught like that.
Thin is one thing, right? Like, I think, things can get out of hand, but we're talking about a fundamental understanding of whether Alameda was commingling funds with FTX. I mean, I saw your Stephanopoulos and Sorkin interview, and you're pretty categorical that you had no idea that you were mingling funds. So that.
And by the way, the Stephanopoulos interview was good, but the Sorkin interview was absolute garbage. Like, that New York Times interview was absolutely scripted bull garbage. I wanted to do it on here, but I don't think. Maybe we'll review it on here. I don't know, but to me, it was like it was scripted, and they use communication tactics that were supposed to leave you with the idea like, oh, Sam's not a bad guy. And I could break it down like the communication tactics because I know some of them, but maybe we'll get into that. But anyways, I'm glad he brought those up. So let me go just a couple seconds back. We're 511 right now. Let's go back to 502.
Commingling funds with FTX. I mean, I saw your Stephanopoulos and Sorkin interview, and you're pretty categorical that you had no idea that you were mingling funds. So that's what I'm asking about. Not like, did you know exactly what was happening on November 7th or 8th? I mean, I can understand sort of things getting out of control, but we're talking about the most fundamental grasp on how your business worked. You're telling us you had no idea.
I was not aware of a lot of what was going on. I was vaguely aware that some of these systems existed. I had no details of them, and I was not spending much time on looking at position risk management. It was a big mistake.
I mean, right, Sam. I've just got guys. I've just got a DM. Sam has to leave. So guys,
Wait, can I mark?
So straight up, he just left the thing. He straight up left the Twitter space. Now, the next day, Coffeezilla has another interacts with him in another Twitter space. And he must have got some advice because he doesn't straight up leave this Twitter space. But let me see who's in the chat right now. I know, like, we've talked about this a lot, but it just keeps coming up. So we kind of just have to talk about it. Let's see here. All right, so just one. We'll continue here. We'll continue on.
I have a couple questions. Read the margin accounts. I mean, there's sort of all this talk about the terms of service. Did you break terms of service? Did you not? You're basically claiming that there was this separate side of your terms of service, which said that if people had margin accounts, you could use kind of their funds, or there was looser language around that. But I talked to somebody from Alameda and asked how big the position of, or how many people had assets in the type of accounts that terms of service would apply to versus the regular terms of service, which said you couldn't use their money. And they said it was about $1 billion that was in the margin trading, or the margin side of things, where you could reuse their funds or whatever, and the rest of it was not there. So does that mean the rest of the money was stolen? I mean, it seems like you're putting all your eggs behind this one excuse about, there was this separate side of the terms of service. How do you address everyone else?
So I don't have all the data in front of me. My memory is...
So basically what Coffeezilla is saying there, I believe, is that the terms of service, the separate terms of service, only cover the $1 billion in assets, and all the rest of the assets were actually covered by the regular terms of service. That Sam keeps saying that there's a separate terms of service. No, that was only a $1 billion pot of money. All the rest was actually covered by their terms of service, according to Coffeezilla here.
Is that it was substantially more than $1 billion in the margin trading program. But I don't have that data in front of me right now, so I can't verify
and
that.
See, that's also what Sam understands, because he says there's substantially more than $1 billion in the margin trading program, which was not covered by the regular terms of service.
On top of that, there were other effects as well. And I don't have the data about all the details of those in front of me, but my understanding is that some of those were early wire transfers sent directly to Alameda, which I think contributed to the position as well. And then there are open futures positions on top of that, on top of the spot margin positions, where there can be effectively socialized losses clawbacks if one is unable to be closed in time. And so I think it was a combination of those factors.
We won't go over the whole this whole interview because this one's very long. But let me see if there's some key points that we want to hit here. Okay, so let's hit this like 2-minute block, and that's it. I think that's the biggest part of what we want to hit here. Yeah, this 2-minute block here.
There may have been other factors too, but that's what I've been able to piece together. And that putting those together, I think is likely how you got to most of this. But
here's the thing: how do you account for maybe the difference in what people are hearing from insiders who are not being accused of fraud and you who sort of is? There's a very different sort of story going on here, where you're saying like, oh, there's this big position that we didn't know about, because you told me that the last time we spoke in a space, and I went and followed up and I said, hey, is this true? Could it be that this number just wasn't known about? And some Alameda insiders said, no way. You could see on dashboards really simply where it was. And FTX dashboards, not Alameda dashboards that you yourself had access to. So my question is sort of like...
So this is the part I really wanted you guys to hear. Because remember before he was saying that the dashboards were different. You couldn't see it on the dashboards. So Coffeezilla must have went that night, spoke to his insider, and actually said the dashboards were very clear and you could see the data on the dashboard. So according to his insider. So let's go back. And Sam didn't have some custom dashboard. He was just using the dashboard that the insiders use. Okay? So let's hear this again. It's very important.
But here's the thing: how do you account for maybe the difference in what people are hearing from insiders who are not being accused of fraud and you who sort of is? There's a very different sort of story going on here, where you're saying like, oh, there's this big position that we didn't know about, because you told me that the last time we spoke in a space, and I went and followed up and I said, hey, is this true? Could it be that this number just wasn't known about? And some Alameda insiders said, no way. You could see on dashboards really simply where it was. And FTX dashboards, not Alameda dashboards that you yourself had access to. So my question is sort of like, it seems like when I go to Alameda insiders or FTX insiders, they're saying this story makes no sense. But when I go to you, who sort of has every incentive to sort of lie and obfuscate, because obviously the incentive here is, well, otherwise you might go to jail, which obviously would be a very bad thing for you. It seems like all of a sudden all the excuses come out, and then when we follow up on them, they don't seem to be true. So I don't know, like, help me square this, because,
again, basically his insider says the FTX dashboard showed everything he needed to see. Because Sam's argument is, okay, couldn't see automated funds from FTX dashboards. I'm not 100% every day in Alameda's business. But according to Coffeezilla's insider, you had the ability to see that from your dashboard. So you're just basically kind of lying.
Be nice if you were telling the truth, but everything we're hearing from insiders is that you're not.
And let me throw in allegedly for legal reasons here.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm saying what I believe. I don't know which insiders you're talking about. I don't know exactly what they said. It doesn't line up with my beliefs. But I can't speak to what they think or what they said.
But why are multiple people within your company at less senior roles knowing more about the company than you?
And Alameda was not a company that I was running at the time, but I hear you. I'm sorry. I don't know exactly what you're referring to. I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know what they said. I don't.
Well, I'm telling you some of what they said. I mean, for example, one of them was that there was like that backdoor system or whatever. A, that you knew it existed, and B, that it was easy to see the balance or the position of Alameda very simply on FTX dashboards. Because they had a margin trading account with you guys, so you guys could have seen it.
But
so he says it very clearly there. It's easy to see Alameda stuff from FTX dashboards. Period.
You guys could see the margin positions of everybody, no?
But a lot of the positions did not appear in that main account.
So where was the position?
It was in a separate stub account, I believe, related to wire transfers that had been sent, to Alameda Research, generally primarily to FTX, having its own bank accounts.
So who controlled the secret stub account? Did anyone at Alameda know about this secret stub account? I mean, are we supposed to believe that?
Could there be a secret stub account? Because he's really entrapping him here, and it's brilliant.
Just like there was this stub account that nobody knew about?
I don't know who knew about what when. I'm sorry.
I mean, clearly somebody lost the money, right? Like, obviously the money went somewhere. Somebody lost it. It just seems really convenient that $8 billion was located in this, account that didn't show up when you pulled up Alameda's balances, right?
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, so a separate question is obviously around this Forbes thing, because you said you don't have.
Brilliant entrapment there. Brilliant entrapment there. Sam mentioned some stub account, and then he's like, okay, then who had the secret stub account? And he's just like, look, I don't know what to tell you. So, possible stub account there, and we'll leave that at that. Let's see who's in the house here, and then we'll go over some Bitcoin right quick. What is up, Casper Holstein? What is going on? Ace, young Strictly Sports over there. Coffeezilla roasted him. LOLs. SBF had to leave right away. I know, that was so funny. And he got him so good in the second interview. So good. Yes, I saw that Carolyn was seen in NYC, in New York City this morning, getting coffee 4 blocks from the FBI headquarters. They say that she's snitching on Sam, but who knows, right? Because they're all interconnected. Like, why would she be snitching on Sam? She's just as much as part of it as he is. So I don't know. They say that. I don't necessarily agree with that. Like, she's just as culpable as he is. Like, what is she gonna? I don't know. Maybe she's snitching on him. Maybe she is. Yes. He's the only person to check. He's the only person to basically press him on what he's saying. No one else to this point has pressed him. And he's going on this whole slew of just interviews. I heard the Stephanopoulos kind of really pressed him. I didn't see that interview yet, but I'll probably have to watch it tonight. Yeah, maybe she's snitching to get a deal. Maybe she is, but they're all in on it. That's the thing to me. It's like, okay, she's snitching to get a deal. They're all in connected families. I don't see how she can really snitch to get a deal. I see how she can. But just seeing as how all these families are interconnected, I doubt anything happens to him. Just period. nothing's happening to him. I really doubt it. Her family's connected to his, who's connected to Gary Gensler. I seriously doubt these people are just snitching on each other. They're just going to find some type of loophole. Yeah, I know. You're right. You're right on that, Strictly. Sam is blaming her for everything, supposedly. But I haven't heard him bring up her name, really. I just heard him say, I wasn't involved with it. That's the only thing he's contended. I'm not involved. I'm not involved. He never directly mentioned her name at all. And what I really think is going to happen is they're just gonna delay it. Like if he sees anything, it'll be like 7 years from now. Because all of his people are connected and they have no reason. They don't have any reason to make it faster because all of their people are connected. So they're just going to drag this boy out as long as possible. And by the time they actually rule something, I doubt it's like anything. It'll be like, oh, okay, it's accounting error, but you were negligent, so 6 months. And you get 2 months, probation or whatever, out in good time, The only reason I would think she'd be doing it is he pretty much just blamed her. But see, everybody is saying that he blamed her, but when you listen to him talk, none of the stuff, like he just says, I don't know about it. I wasn't in Alameda Felons. He never directly, he never directly says anything. That's the thing about Sam. He never directly says anything. The only thing he almost directly said was that since he was in the Bahamas, he needed to open up their money early so that he wouldn't be in danger. That's the only thing he almost directly said. And he didn't really directly say that. So everybody's saying that he's blaming her, but he never says anything. He just says, I wasn't involved in it. I wasn't involved in Alameda's day-to-day funds. He never directly names her. He just says, I wasn't involved in it. I wasn't in charge of their day-to-day funds. So she could say, hey, I didn't do it. I was in charge of the funds, but everything on my end was fine. So then, like, who do you blame that then? They just find a fall guy at that point, I think. He never directly blames her. So that's the only reason I would think she'd be doing it. He's pretty much he doesn't blame her. You gotta listen to those things. He just says I wasn't involved in it. There's a real subtle difference in that. He never named names. He just said, I wasn't in charge of day-to-days. Now, it'd be interesting if someone said, okay, are you saying Caroline specifically did this? Now, if someone says that and he answers to that, but I don't think anyone to this point has said that. And by the way, I know they connected it to close to the FBI headquarters, but isn't her father like MIT head or something like that? So how far was it from MIT that she was, So I don't know. But shout out to Coffeezilla for actually going in, like really tracking them down, really asking him some tough questions. Really good kudos to him, man. Kudos to him. And Coffeezilla, like, unlike some people, he does not really really have a lot of pride about himself. Like, you know what I mean. So like big ups to him. We all need to work on pride. So, I'll just leave that where it is. But yeah, Bitcoin here, shouting, screaming up towards 17.5. Now, what would be very interesting is if it breaks the 200 moving average. That would be very, very interesting to see. It's very, very close to oversold here on the 4-hour. So perhaps it comes back a little bit. But let's go to the day chart. Okay, on the day chart, it's very close or very far away from the 200. That's what I thought. Okay, but on a 4-hour, it's very close to 200. So very interesting here. And I think this blue line I have here is the 8 EMA. Yeah, I think that's the 8 EMA, the light blue line. The solid blue line is the is the 50. Let's go back to the 4-hour right quick. So on the 4-hour, very close here to the 200-day moving average. I still think I think this is more like a kind of a fake out. Towards the end of the year, people are going to rebalance their portfolios. So I think this is like just kind of bringing us up before it takes us back down a little bit again. If you come over here and we look at the SPY, the SPY did somewhat of the same thing. So if we can just zoom in here, let me get rid of the indicators and zoom in. So they had a very big push up here on Thursday, or what's that, Wednesday or Thursday. And they were saying it was due to what Powell said, but Powell didn't really say anything much to me that, oh, it's you know, we're supposed to be so bullish that we go up at 10 points in one day, but whatever. Apparently the job market news came back out and pushed it back down again, but it recovered a little bit from that. Everybody keeps saying Santa Claus rally, which I've never even heard of a Santa Claus rally, because usually every year people are rebalancing their portfolio, and we usually see it go down some. So I don't know. I still think we see it go down a little bit from what we have here, especially when we talk about Bitcoin, because we got a whole freaking like year and a half until we see the next Bitcoin halving, which is in 2024. So yeah, I really think we don't. It heads back down pretty soon. Let me see who we got in the crowd again. The best part about the SBF interviews is that clown Bitboy never even got his interview. LOL, and SBF was interviewing with everyone else. I think we're going to dip again. Yep, I really feel another dip coming. People are really gaga, and I think that's the wrong way to be. I really think we got another dip coming. Where were we here? So one thing that's been pretty much screaming lately is Quant. Quant's just been on a run since it hit like $100. It's just been running. Now Quant and all these CBDC cryptos, I'm really actually expecting them to run coming up into the new year here, because they said that we'll see CBDCs by mid 2023. So a lot of these cryptos having to do with CBDCs or ISO 20022 cryptos might be a good investment in the upcoming months. So that's like Quant. It's like XRP. What else would be involved in that? Hedera, Algorand, stuff like that. We can probably expect this to see runs in the next few months here, especially Quant, because they are highly tapped in and aligned with CBDCs. So definitely, I think we see a run in Quant coming up in the next couple months. Maybe not in this predicted Bitcoin fall that we're expecting, but in the next couple months, I think we do see Quant continuing to rise. I'm looking to invest a lot of infrastructure plays. The gold rush from the it's coming in the next 2-3 years. Invest in EV charging infrastructure, broadband, and electrical infrastructure. They're all getting 1.2 trillion IJA money. Was in some meetings last week with some big EV players. Thanks for sharing that, Strictly. I appreciate that, man. What is IIJA? And while we're bringing that up, maybe my Benzinga Pro will work and not be too slow here. Yeah, I've been redeploying some just out of the whole thing to be diversified. I have been deploying some funds towards EV stuff. I know we don't talk a lot about the stocks on here, but if we just take a couple seconds here to look at a couple EV stocks. I think it's a good value add and a good value add for the diversification of one's portfolio. So it's just taking a second here to load. I'll close these things down here. Okay, so one of which I very much like is Beam. I don't know if you guys have heard of those guys, but they seem to be getting a lot of infrastructure contracts coming up here. And this has been Benzinga Pro. If you guys are interested in that, if you check any of my videos, not the live ones, but the regular videos, I have a discount code for this guy if you guys want to check it out. But if we look at Beam here, Beam Global produces sustainable technology for electric vehicle charging, outdoor media, and energy security without the construction, disruption, and cost of grid-tied solutions. Its products are founded upon a patented EV arc and solar tree lines, including BeamTrack, patented solar energy tracking, and arc technology energy storage, along with EV charging, blah, 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 blah. So coming up here, they just had a whole bunch of different orders. $11 million order for the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs for EV arc systems. $29 million order from the U.S. Army in Puerto Rico. $5.3 million order from New York City. Like, it just goes on. They're just installing a lot of stuff. $2.9 million order from the Department of Homeland Security for EV charging. So they're getting a lot of this business. So if we come over here and look at their earnings charts, they haven't even shown all of these earnings yet. So here coming up, the next couple quarters is probably going to be bananas for them, because we just named one that was like 30 million, right? And this is, they're just seeing 6 million of revenue, which was a huge surprise. But given all the stuff we just named, we can see at least 30 to 40 million of revenue here in the next coming quarters. So, and some of which of what they're selling is and installing are charge point machines, EV stations, charging stations. And you can see here charge point going from 35 all the way up to 160 something million. They just missed their earnings by a little bit, which is very surprising that they missed it. But even though they missed, they're still, they're still, triple the revenue they had like 8 quarters ago or 6 quarters ago. So very, very cool. I don't know, what are some of the ones you're looking at, Strictly? Yep, ChargePoint was a company also invested in cannabis companies. We're going to see a big boom from Biden passing that. Yep, I was looking at a couple of those as well. Yeah, ChargePoint is pretty heavy. I heard that ChargePoint, on here somewhere, they said like they were appointed to some committee by Biden. If we go down here, they missed their earnings, so they're at a pretty good bargain right now. Where is it? Because there's their earnings, but somewhere in this news, okay, they say that Biden appointed ChargePoint CEO to like a committee. So ChargePoint is one I think definitely we see some stuff in the coming up here. Another one I was looking at is Proterra. They make EV buses, and they actually have some decent earnings. If you come over here, developer and a producer of commercial electric vehicle technology with integrated business model focused on providing end-to-end solutions that enable commercial vehicle electrification through 3 main business units: Proterra Power, Proterra Energy, Proterra Transit. So, and they're already, if we look at their calendar here, they're already perceiving and seeing some nice earnings. So they pretty much doubled theirs in about 6 quarters as well. So pretty cool. Another one, this one's in Canada. This is Lion Electric. They do commercial vehicles, electrical vehicles as well. And in 6 quarters, they've quadrupled or quintupled their revenue. And they're like pretty much Canada, like they just choose one. So they're the ones really going in Canada, really doing it. And they just signed a deal. It's just a 4-year supply agreement for lithium-ion battery cells. Leading manufacturer of all electric, medium, and heavy-duty urban vehicles today announced is entered into a 4-year supply agreement with the top-tier supplier for the supply of lithium-ion battery cells to be used for manufacturing batteries for electrical vehicles. So they must have the need. Again, this is something that is pushed by the World Economic Forum. They want everybody on electrical everything. When I was over in Germany, they were saying they're moving to electrical vehicles. So when Strictly says that, it's a thing that's happening. The next 2 to 3 years, everything's moving to this electric. So diversifying your portfolio and grabbing a lot of great electrical companies like Lion Electric, like Proterra, like Beam, like ChargePoint might be something that you want to do in the future. One other one we could look at here is Blink Electric Charging. I think this is like the second place one behind ChargePoint. Let's see how their earnings are looking. I'm surprised that their stock is at a higher price than ChargePoint's, and they earn much less than them. But anyways, our market's crazy. A lot of these electrical vehicle companies might be a try too, like Neo, Li Auto. Also, we got Helium here. Helium hasn't seen any earnings yet, so they might not be a great one. But yeah. Is SBF ignorant about crypto? Is he acting? That's what I'm telling you, man. Like, I don't think he's the man making the crypto moves. He's just the figurehead. He's been the figurehead. Oh yeah, Tesla for sure. Yeah. My mind was blank, but there's a company that makes heavy equipment, EV heavy equipment. Oh, yeah, if you think about it, please put it in here. Or if not, if you remember it later on, you know you got my Twitter. You can put it in my DMs on Twitter here. And by the way, guys, if none of you caught it, I did a very, very nice interview with Robert Mao, CEO of ArcBlock. He was very candid about all the questions. He even said they were working on something that they hope to have working with Starlink. Now, he said that was his hope. Nothing's concrete yet. That was his hope. So go ahead and listen to the interview to hear it. But I really didn't think he was gonna answer that, but he did. He did answer it. So definitely check out that interview. Some golden nuggets in that freaking interview. All right, with ArcBlock. EV company called Ample. Let's see if we can find them on Benzinga Pro. Ample. It's giving crypto. That's another thing to note, guys. They do give crypto over here too. I don't think it's completely implemented, but like the top 100 is implemented here. So strictly, are they publicly traded? If they're publicly traded, if you could give me the ticker, I would really appreciate it. Another one I don't know if I said this already, another one I'm really watching coming up in the next few bits is Algorand. Everybody has always great things to say about Algorand. Charles Hoskinson, I was watching his interview with Bitboy. He was talking glowingly about Algorand. Algorand has the freaking 6,000 TPS. And it's like real, it's not fake like Solana's. They're not quantum hackable. They have a CBDC They're ISO 20022 compliant. Algorand, man. And before this whole LCX or FTX thing, they were doing pretty nice with the DeFi too. Let's bring up DeFi Llama over here right quick. Oh, and I finally got my hardware wallet. Really nice. Really cool about that. I got the Ledger Nano. It was really easy. Nano X. It was really easy to use. I'm glad I got the Nano X and not the other one, because everything under the Nano X, you can only hold like a certain amount of cryptos, like 4 or something like that. But with the Nano X, you can hold like 40 different cryptos on it. So definitely, if you're looking for a hardware wallet, I would recommend the Nano X. It's been working well so far. Let's see here. So DeFi chains. So Algorand was up here pretty high at one point, and then the whole FTX thing happened and it shook everything out. They were climbing towards 200 million, but of course, you know, that caused people to get skittish. Once the whole FTX thing came along and they took their money out, but you can kind of see here over the last 7 days, money is starting to creep back in a little bit. You can see these are up like 10% and 4%, 3%, and then not too many changes in the last couple days. So money's starting to creep back in there. Money's starting to creep back in DeFi as a whole, because during the FTX days, it was down all the way to 40 billion locked up in there. Now it's like 42 billion. $42.5 billion. So a little bit of money creeping back in. But still, like I said, I think we're probably going to head down. And I think this is just another kind of fake out. Because they're going to have a plethora of fake outs until we get towards 2024. And the next halving happens, they're going to be a plethora of fake outs. Oh, and by the way, since we're on stocks, I'm still pretty heavy, guys, on CleanSpark. CleanSpark is really trading at a very great X when you compare it to Bitcoin. Now, if you look at where it's been, right? I think that's a fluke. I don't know that it ever got to $140. I know it was close to getting to 80, but the 40 is where we're kind of looking at here. This was 2021, the last bull run. So 40 something dollars. If you take that and like, so we're at $2 right now. So what's 2 times like 16? That'll probably put us close to it. Where's the calculator? Come on now. Okay, apparently my thing does not want to work for me right now. So, okay, let me just use my calculator on my phone then. So 16 times 2.5 or 2.25 cents. Yeah, so that's over a 16x. And Bitcoin, where it's sitting at right now, basically 17 times 4 gets us up to the 60-ish range, right? So Clean Spark 16x, Bitcoin 4x. If you invest in Clean Spark, maybe you can roll those earnings back into Bitcoin and get more bang for your buck. That's my thought right there with Clean Spark. The Nano X or the Nano S Plus are both great. The only difference is the X has Bluetooth and the S Plus doesn't. Okay, cool. Because I thought someone told me too that the S Plus can only hold like 4 cryptos at a time. I'm not sure if that's true or not. But my thoughts on HBAR is they're probably going to be very much enclinched or intertwined with the CBDCs. And since we're probably going to see something happen with CBDCs coming up mid-2023, now would probably be the time to grab some of those. Let me see. Federal Reserve. I think this is the article I want to look at. Okay, so that's what they're saying. So timing to mid-2023. So mid-2023, and now they've kind of changed the wording to instant payments instead of CBDCs. So sometimes when you see instant payments, no, they're talking about CBDCs. And then we've also had where they said 12 companies were, or they just did this recent test where they said 12 something in CBDCs. CBDC. I forget what it was. It was something with CBDCs in 12. Okay, New York Fed launches 12-week CBDC pilot program. Now, our guy, Mainly Music, gave us a kind of in on this by telling us about the DTCC, which is like the clearinghouse for all of the banks. So they were probably involved in this. I've been doing a little bit of research on this. I haven't found a way yet for us normies to invest in this, but I'm going to keep digging. But basically, this is the clearinghouse for all banks, pretty much literally. Shout out to Mainly Music for that. I haven't found a way us normies can be exposed to that just yet, but I wonder if they were involved in this 12-week CBDC pilot program. I also wonder if Cyperium was involved. So that'll be a good search right now to look up Cyperium and to look up Hedera to see if they were involved in that in any type of way. Okay, so they haven't posted anything since the 12th of November, it seems. So they've been pretty quiet. But let's look at Hedera. Okay, they mentioned staking. They retweeted something. They retweeted something else. Discovering a global carbon price. Oh my God. Carbon credits, guys, is going to come. It's going to be wrapped in with CBDCs. And they're putting this around like it's a really good thing, but really it's going to essentially charge us for energy twice. I really hope that people really fight back against carbon credits, because it's not cool. It's not cool. Okay, so Hedera has some stuff going on with kind of carbon credits, it seems. Yeah, Hedera's gonna be knee deep in CBDCs and carbon credits, so I really think they'll be a good investment for the future. No, the S can hold only 4 cryptos. The S Plus can hold like 100 plus NFTs. The S Plus was the new release they had this year. Okay, perfect. Yeah, H bar is pretty cheap right now. See if we can bring it up right quick. Where did that go? There we go. Oh wow, yeah, very cheap right now. Very cheap right now. So let's go back here. And let's see if we can find that ample green energy. That ample company you were talking about. Here we go. Okay. Is this them strictly? Ace? I wonder if they're publicly traded anywhere. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, let me know if that's ample. Notable press. Battery swapping. Inside China's electric drive for swappable car batteries. Okay. So I know one of the cars companies does this. It's either Xpeng or Li. They swap batteries. Or it might be Neo. One of the electric to Chinese car companies swaps batteries like this. Very interesting. Okay, perfect. Perfect. So, all right, guys, if there's no more questions, I think I'll call it a night for us today. All right, thanks so much, guys. We'll probably be going live tomorrow night again. No Benzinga this week. We'll probably We redo the show next week with Benzinga. So definitely see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one, guys. Peace.